Tonight on Last Call presents Doctor Who. The TARDIS arrives on Earth in the 13th century, where it is claimed by famed explorer Marco Polo as a gift for his employer, Kublai Khan. Polo hopes to finally buy his way out of the Khan's service, but if he succeeds, the Doctor and his friends will never be able to get back to their ship ever again. It's part one of the reconstruction of the missing media Doctor Who serial, Marco Polo, starting right now.
Good evening. Welcome to the Sunday edition of Last Call Presents Doctor Who. Just like when I was growing up, Doctor Who was on late night on Sunday. So let me start in the Cosme, which is pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to watch along the episodes with us, make sure you're in there. I'm seeing the chat in there where Marco Pasta, there you go. Curtis Selby, Vampire Sand. Mark Melnikoff, imagine someone getting that in their privates. Yeah, exactly right. So I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. Mark Melnikoff says that he's home from the dilithium mines of Rurapente. First in the chat, too, Maj. Realized I'm better off on Rurapente, or even the Morca listening post than Starfleet Learning Academy. Yeah. Oh, Leering Academy, excuse me. Absolutely. Right. Salute to deleted scenes. We just got a private, what is it? Reserved seats raid. Thank you so much, my friend. Salute from Tired Midnight Blogger. Happy Sunday. Hey, peoples from Dangleberry Sports Highlights. Good to see ya. Hail chat, says Connie Cleary. Welcome, Connie. Suzanne, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. Deleted Scene says, like, share, subscribe, comment, become a member. Gift a membership if you're feeling particularly generous. Please help us get back to 100 members. I would very, very, very much appreciate that. Saying hi to each other. Netter saying hello to the love of her life. You are the love of mine as well, sweetie. Thank you so much for being here.
I don't know if I'll make it through.
You may not make it to the end, especially since these are the reconstructed episodes. These get very, very difficult to watch. I understand that.
Well, I've already seen them, but right. It's one, I gotta work tomorrow.
Yeah.
And two, I'm just out of it.
Yeah, I know. What can you do, really?
I'm going into the studio, but it's just so I can hear you better, not echo.
That's fair. And what I wanted to do was Marco Polo. This is the Roof of the World is the name of the first episode. Let me get my notes out, and then we can get started. I was typing, I suppose, with Lynn Green in the community tab. You can see our conversation there if you want to. But she was asking, where, if these were the reconstructions she had. Yes, these are the loose cannon. All of the audio for all of these episodes exists. But none of the footage for any of these episodes actually exist. But what does exist is behind the scene telesnaps. The individual actors, for their portfolio to keep a record of the work they've done, they would commission photographers to come in and take photographs. And all of those photos actually do still exist and are available out there in the blogosphere. This loose cannon got a hold of them, put them together as slideshows with the audio, and did some decent constructions. Now, maybe one day someone will take to the AI and thank you, and reconstruct these episodes using AI. But until that day, this is the best we could do, and I want to be as complete as possible. Again, the Cosme link is pinned to the top, so please start funneling in there, because we are going to get Loose cannon. Oh, yeah. That's me lately. Yeah. Oh, me too, my friend. Absolutely me too, my friend. So let's go ahead and get started. And these loose cannon reconstructions are available out there on the internet. Pretty sure they're on YouTube. They're on Daily Motion. I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't on Internet Archive. Suzanne says, can't stay to watch, Troy. The gifts cause me grief. Have a great show. I understand. Take care. And like I said, these are available out there on the interwebs. So, but those of you that are staying with me, let's go ahead and begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, and this is actually kind of sort of in color. Because some of the telesnaps were in color. So there's an upside there. Marco Polo, after they named a game after him, yes. Yes, this is where we left off last week. So this footage is actually still available. Because it was the end of last episode. The roof of the world. So, as I was saying, the master videotape was wiped by the BBC in 1967. No footage is known to survive. However, director Waris Hussein passed a complete set of telesnaps to the BBC archives in 2004. All of the episodes for this story are currently lost. Telesnaps and extracts from the original soundtrack are included as part of a 30-minute abridged reconstruction of the story Marco Polo. This is included as part of Doctor Who The Beginnings DVD collection, released in January of 2006. Carol Ann Ford has said that this was her favorite Doctor Who serial that she participated in. While a number of Doctor Who serials are missing episodes, many of them feature clips either recovered or in 8mm home movie format. This is one of 3 serials where no footage survives, excluding the reprise at the beginning from The Edge of Destruction. The other 2 are Mission to the Unknown and The Massacre. Whilst the original version of The Daleks Episode 1, The Dead Planet, was never broadcast and is lost, it is the first full, complete story to be missing from the BBC archive. Of course, this episode takes place in China in 1289. There are 7 parts in this, just like with the Daleks.
Nope.
Yeah, so you'll notice that the telesnaps, in addition to the telesnaps and the audio, there are like direction notes to describe the action that's happening on screen. And if you think about it, these telesnaps could absolutely be used as prompts in an AI. And you feed in the audio. I think I would be remiss if I didn't point out that there was a fan who spent. Oh, the doctor stops to lock the ship, then hurries off. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that there was a fan out there who spent a fortune trying to reconstruct the missing episodes using AI. I don't know where they are or to the degree that they're available, but I've seen some of them, and they're actually kind of terrible. It was the early days of AI, not, the Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise fight days. Tagana and the leader of the group examined them. Oh, I guess I would also be remiss if in this modern, enlightened age, if I didn't talk about the fact that this would be considered a very problematic episode these days because the actors are not actually Asian. This would be considered yellowface. She saw a girl in some random thoughts wandering in the snow. Yes. Quick, give them Chesterton and run away.
Nice hat.
Tagana sheaths his sword, and the others follow suit. In a nearby tent, a young girl is preparing some soup. It's easier to conquer the world than to conquer a woman's heart. That is true. The doctor's party enters the tent. Ian Levine, that was his name. Yeah, I wonder if that was an intentional error because sometimes William Hartnell used to joke around, but also sometimes he flubbed his lines and he had to be covered, and they didn't want to reshoot scenes. That's good, Mark.
Marco.
Polo. That's the way it's done. This is your caravan. It's a box. I'm trying to open the door, but it's locked. So of course, you have William Hartnell being, not in the best of health. So they wrote it into the shows as though the Doctor's a bit frail. And then, of course, they do the regeneration later on when he becomes Patrick Troughton. I guess you have to assume that he is actually old for an average Gallifreyan. Of course, this is retroactive canon. Yeah, some of this is taken from uh, the beginnings footage that was created with voiceover, specifically recorded by William Russell. The caravan has arrived at La. Susan and Ping Cho come down the stairs. The Doctor reluctantly sits down. I wish I had never gone to the pool that day. Marco Polo. Yeah. This guy kind of looks like the one playing Marco Polo. Yeah, kind of. Does seem like a problem. And this is the second episode, The Singing Sands, not the Vampire Sands. Perfectly balanced, as everything should be. Excuse me. Susan enters the tent. But bit much on the gongs, huh? Yeah, exactly. I should also point out that there was, especially in the first couple seasons of Doctor Who, an idea that this was meant to have been, it didn't turn out to be, but it was meant to have been something of a educational type of show. You know, they were going to try to teach history. I think if if you wanted to have a time travel story that taught history, I think the TV show Voyagers did a much better job of it than Doctor Who. And I think Doctor Who abandoned it pretty early on. I think Marco Polo was probably their best attempt, and then they were like, okay, that's enough. And then it just became your basic, sci-fi fare. So I was starting to talk about William Hartnell's, general health, but he had specifically fallen ill during the production of this. So the script was rewritten to minimize the doctor's role in this particular episode. Mongolian death worm. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that sandstorm looked a lot like snow, but what are you going to do? I also don't really know enough about, Marco Polo and the history of all of that to say, how historically accurate any of this was. I'll just kind of take the BBC's, you know, production staff of the day at their word. Best they could do under the circumstances, presumably. Yeah, see, even Susan is holding her ears because it's so loud. That really is how the sound was mixed. another segment from the special created for the DVD release of the beginning. Sword, Marco Polo writes in his journal. Raises his sword, Marco Polo leaps up, drawing his own. Marco goes back to his work. Tagana leaves the tent. Outside, the Mongol guards the wagon. Hearing noise, the guard moves away. Because of course he does. Water runs from the ground onto the desert floor. Which spares them the poison. Midnight at the Oasis. Smoke up, push. Jug runs dry. They do look like Klingons from the original series, don't they, Mark? It was basically the same concept, swarthy skin, and the so-called Fu Manchu, mustache and goatee. That's what keeps them from escaping. At the Oasis, Tagana drinks from a full water gourd. And Troy drinks from a half-empty Diet Dr. Pepper.
I think it's only a quarter full. Okay, y'all, I'm going to bed. Night.
Night, Netter.
I'll get you a full Dr. Pepper because I know you're still going to be up for a bit.
Mm-hmm. The next episode is The Caves of 500 Eyes, followed by The Wall of Lies. The Doctor and Susan are able to supply Marco with condensation that was formed inside the TARDIS, saving the group from dying of thirst, and I guess preventing history from being altered. When the group is reunited with Tagana, the travelers begin to suspect he is up to something. The Doctor's group managed to rescue Barbara from the Mongols, but once more, Marco remains unaware of Tagana's involvement. So again, thank you guys so much for sticking with me. This, I know, is brutal. These early episodes can be a little dry sometimes, and it's even worse when you're having to do just the audio with telesnaps. But I'm trying to be a completist here. I want us to be able to get the full measure of the history of Doctor Who, and I hope you guys. Well, I'd love it if you guys appreciate it, but at least if you guys can understand it, and try to stick with me. So next week, you know what's coming up. We're starting another week. So Liquid Lunch is next. And members, if you can make it, I hope to see you tomorrow night at 9 Central. Well, later tonight, 9 Central, 10 Eastern, for the Rick Springfield first motion picture, Hard to Hold. So I want to, like the script and storyboards, yes, that's exactly right. But like I said, it won't be long before we start seeing, these being turned into full-fledged restorations using AI. Look, say what you want to about AI. When you have something like this that's completely lost media, it is a tool that can be used to restore it. I was reading some commentaries online when someone said, "Do you think they'll reconstruct, Doctor Who using, the missing episodes using AI?" And everyone's like, "Oh, gee, I hope not. That stuff is slop." And I'm like, it's kind of better than nothing, right? Just saying. But anyway, I want to thank you all again. That's it. I won't make for a long drawn out goodbye, because you guys should all probably be in bed, and I probably should be too, but I got some stuff to do first. So you guys all take care of yourselves. Be healthy. Stay hydrated. Drink responsibly. And of course, I will see you all on the next one. Take care, everyone.
One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.